Hello everybody, thanks for joining me again. Well, I'm on another winter walk on a blustery day and I've come to Froward Point. Plenty to photograph here. There's the day mark on the hill behind here and I'm just at Brownstone Battery, which was a Second World War gun emplacement. And behind me you can see the Mewstone. So a little bit of everything, a bit of history, some seascapes, and then walking towards Kingswear, there's the woodland, so some woodland photography as well. But as you can see, it's pretty miserable and overcast this morning. Sunrise was about half an hour ago, not that I noticed it. But the misty conditions might lend itself to some photographs of the Mewstone and the battery. And there might be some mist in the woodland, so I'll have a hunt around and see what I can find. Right, let's get on with it. As you can see, there's also one of the National Coastwatch stations here, although I don't think anyone's at home today. Anyway, this is a bit of a scouting mission in this sort of weather, so I'm going to head down into the battery and take a few scouting shots. Let's go and have a look. Well, there were two of these large round concrete circles and both were gun emplacements. There were two naval guns here capable of firing about 14 miles out to sea. There was the two gun emplacements, and then further down, almost near the water's edge, was the searchlight. So let's see what photographs I can make of this. So as the light's so poor, all I'm looking at the moment are the shapes of the emplacements and trying to imagine what it would look like with a sunrise and maybe some interest in the background. Anyway, I'm just going to put the camera on automatic at the moment and quickly snap away and see what I can find. If I find anything decent, then I'll stop and I'll take a more composed shot. Well, I'll put the settings up in a moment, but as I said, I was on automatic and just looking for compositions. I quite like some elements of this one. I like the yellow in the concrete block in the foreground and the leading line up to the lookout. Well, this photograph really surprised me. I didn't see this when I actually took the photograph, but the leading line round to the left that disappears, and just the structure in black and white looks really imposing, and I'll go back and have another go at this. Well, I think this section must have been a means of getting the ammunition from what looks like an ammunition store behind you all the way down to the second gun. Makes a lovely leading line. So I'm going to take some shots of that just for reference. So I put it in a shallow depth of field, focused in a little way down the trackway, got low and just got this wide angle shot. Could have done with a bit more light. Might look good in black and white as well. Another one to try later. Well, as you can see, this second gun emplacement has some lovely views round into the mouth of the River Dart. And that's where the footpath leads you through the trees over there, around the corner. Might try that in a bit. And of course some lovely views out to sea. On a good day, a good place for spotting dolphins. And there's plenty of seabirds flying by. Well, just on that hillside behind me was this tree, and with the mist it just separated it from the background and was an obvious shot. And it's got this nice blue hue to the photograph. It's a 55mm, but still I was using the automatic settings. Well, I have found one shot that I might try and compose. There's a Mewstone in the background, and with this gorse in the foreground I'm wondering whether I can make a landscape shot of this. Unfortunately it's still very windy, so everything's moving. So although I'd like to make a long exposure shot for the water, all the gorse and everything else will be blurred. Unless of course I try and take two shots and blend them together, which might be fun. Let's try that anyway. Well, I took the two images. The one of the rocks in the background at 5 seconds, and then the foreground at 1/160th of a second. But as you can see from the centre, when I tried to merge them together, the outline of the gorse was just too difficult to mask, so there's a blurred section in the centre. Well, I found another shot. Love the way this staircase winds its way down to the searchlight emplacement on the seashore. As you can see, very windy here. Got the camera and the tripod in a quite precarious situation, so I'm looking after it. But let's see what I can make of that. For this one, I took it off the automatic settings. So I'm at 16mm at f8 and ISO 100, and to get the exposure right I'm at 1/4 of a second. Quite like this shot with the railing running all the way down, but then cropped to a square crop. I think this looks much better, much more balanced. I've put a little bit of a vignette on it and highlighted the centre of the photograph. Best shot of the day, I think. Well, that's enough from here. I think I'm now going to take a walk back to the day mark. and take some photographs of that. Let's go and have a look. As you can see, that was quite a walk up from the battery up to the day mark, but it was worth the effort. I've got a couple of shots in mind. This is a landscape with the day mark just small on the left hand side, on the left hand third. And then I'll also try a portrait shot. Again, I quite like how I can't just quite see the base of the day mark and all I've got is the green field. Very monochrome. This is the raw image before any editing. As you can see, it's quite bland with no definition in the sky. The day mark is a little bit in the mist, but in post-processing I went to town with this one, made it black and white. I've done a negative vignette so it's light around the outside, given it more contrast. These are actually the same photograph, but with the weather conditions I thought I might just play around with it. Hope you like it. Well, I enjoyed my first trip to the day mark, and even though it's an overcast day, hopefully I'll come away with some half decent photographs. Also, the trip down to the point and to the battery was well worth it for a scouting trip, and I'll come back in some better light conditions and we'll see what we can get. Well, it's not been great between Christmas and New Year, but hopefully this will inspire you to get out, even on a grey day, and enjoy a nice walk. And maybe take some photographs. Anyway, I think that's all for today. Thank you for joining me. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give me a like. And I'll leave a link to my website below, and I'll put some photographs from today on there so you can have a look. Anyway, for now, cheerio.